Deceit, Flabbersham!
See here, I simply have no time for lost parts.
Flabbersham!
Never had a rat.
Prime What's wrong? Most improbable. And
Dearest rat.
prime What's wrong? Most improbable baby in the world.
Then, the saddest of all movies, both in terms of quality and story, The Fox and the Hound.
Okay, the last time I watched Fox and the Hound was like probably 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I rewatched it, and I know exactly why the last time I watched it was like 10 years ago. It's because this movie destroys me.
Yes.
I can't watch this movie and walk away mentally healthy.
The way everyone else feels about Pinocchio.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like, I don't know how I watched this as a kid and was okay. Like, what the fuck?
The parents weren't in on that one.
No, they were not. Because what the fuck?
Can we agree that this is like Don Bluth? He left the studio at the time they were working on this movie, but this is kind of a Don Bluth movie.
Yeah.
So, like,
Hey, Don Bluth, what the fuck? It's just
oh my god.
this movie. I mostly remember it just because of how devastatingly sad it makes me.
Yeah.
But I don't really like. Again, the music doesn't really stand out to me in this movie, just because most of it is overpowered by just sheer emotional turmoil. So
And the fact that it's not, I don't think it's that hard to find any like gay subtext in it either.
oh no, it's very gay.
And that makes it worse.
And that makes it worse. It's so queer, and yet it has the most awful ending.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why, Disney, why did you make this?
Why?
Why did you have to dash the hope of thousands of queer children everywhere? Why did you have to do this?
Because they weren't thinking about it. That's why.
Yeah. And it's just like, oh, okay.
No.
Ugh.
In 1981, there's still like birds of a feather must flock together.
Sounds kind of gay, but okay. I just...
Oh yeah, I forgot 3 caballeros.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Anyway.
Yeah, Fox and the Hound is just... It ruins me in a way that, like, very few movies are able to. So I'm never watching this again. I'm never letting you convince me to watch this again.
Great. But the worst part is I don't know who I would bring on as a guest, like, period, to talk about this movie.
I'm sorry, I will not watch this movie again.
Fair enough.
I am so sorry, but I need to prioritize my mental health.
I'm so sorry, but this is amazing.
I'm telling my therapist about this.
Oh my god.
So, Fox and the Hound goes in C tier, not because it's a bad movie, but because I can't watch it again.
But it's not bad enough for you to put it in a bottom tier.
Yeah, no, it's not bad enough to put it in a bottom tier, because I can appreciate, like, the art is pretty, even though I want to cry.
Should I go ahead and get to my thoughts and then we'll move on?
Yes, please, I don't want to talk about this movie anymore.
Okay, great.
start crying.
No, please. Okay. Fox and the Hound. It's funny you should say that because there's really only one scene that breaks me every time. The rest of it, I just watch it and I don't take it in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's that I'm numb to it or just that like I'm not invested enough or something. I mean, that bird and woodpecker don't help matters at all.
Uh-huh.
They're so annoying.
They are.
It sucks that this is Disney's Brokeback Mountain.
Oh god, it is Disney's Brokeback Mountain. Fuck. It's just not explicitly gay.
No, it's not. It's not. Otherwise, yeah, this movie, I would only give it a pass because I live in a rural area and I can understand the behaviors of several characters in this movie, even though I don't agree with them. I'm looking at you, Amos Slade. But yeah, I do feel about as awkward as you right now.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's why I just went safe and put it in the middle tier.
yeah, well, you were more generous than me. I put it in the dud category.
Uh-huh.
Because it's just not, it doesn't have that oomph to it.
Uh-huh.
And when it does have the oomph, it's quite disturbing.
Uh-huh.
Also, Mickey Rooney is in it, and I hate him.
Mickey Rooney Hate Club.
Yes. Honestly, Judy deserved better.
Mm-hmm.
And Kurt Russell, he's there. I guess maybe on a lighter note, he used to have a live action film career with Disney going back to like the 60s and stuff like that. And he did this, he was a guest on this special about the Haunted Mansion when it opened up.
Oh, nice.
And I don't know how old he was, so I don't know if I should say this, but in that special, he was fine.
Good for him.
Fine.
I love Haunted Mansion.
Yeah. The one person who could get me to go on it.
I love Haunted Mansion. It's so good. I love it almost as much as a Hollywood Tower of Terror.
You could probably get me on Haunted Mansion much sooner than Tower of Terror.
Hey, look, if we ever manage to go on a Disney trip together again, I'm getting you on Haunted Mansion.
If it's between Haunted Mansion and Space Mountain, Splash Mountain, or any of the other mountains, aside from Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, Haunted Mansion all the way. Let's do it. You will never get me on a roller coaster that goes higher than 42 feet.
So not even Big Thunder? Can you do Big Thunder?
I don't know.
Because, I mean, it's not that much more intense than the Mine Train.
I don't know. I don't have a strong enough opinion about it, even from just observing things, so the jury's still out on that. But yeah, otherwise, Fox and the Hound. I shared an article with Raeley earlier last week,
yes,
talking about some of the production behind this movie, and the research bears out my opinion about it. So
yeah,
the fact that they just wanted to do stuff to fill time. Like the literally story conferences for this movie were literally like, hey, I got an idea. I don't know if it'll work. And then they're like, well, if you don't think it'll work, why are you asking or like raising the idea or something like that? Like they just kept going off on these tangents about different ideas and stuff. And it's like, I think this movie has focus, but It's not enough, sweetie. So yeah, I'm putting it in dud for sure. Okay.
Next one.
Now to one to make that will make your spirit soar to the heavens. The Black Cauldron.
This movie. Can I describe a movie as like the floor of a butcher shop? Because that's what this movie is.
The floor of a butcher shop.
I've been calling it.
It's vague, but it's very descriptive. I like it.
Yeah. Because like I mean, I've been talking about like I've been alluding to this movie being like a hack job, and like butchered. It very much is.
Mhm.
It is a movie that had a clear vision, but was destroyed in the editing process
By
because
Jeffrey Katzenberg.
because he was a coward, and this movie was ruined because of that. Now, do I think it would have been a great movie without his influence? Probably not. But I definitely think it would have been better than what this mess turned out to be.
Yes.
The Black Cauldron is kind of an aimless mess. That is like completely like goes off the rails from the source material. It could have been cool, but it's not. It's very lame, actually. The
You won't
coolest
find this movie being like sold at Hot Topic.
no, the coolest thing about this movie is the villain, but very underutilized.
And not a great performance.
And not a great performance. So yeah. The best adaptation of this movie was the Tokyo Disneyland like walkthrough
Yes.
experience that this movie got. But they took that down and replaced it with a different walkthrough that is much tamer and not nearly as cool. So
And it utilizes the top half of the castle
and it
instead of the
utilizes
basement.
yes. I mean, I get why, because I think it was like because of like a Japanese earthquake
Yeah.
regulations where they couldn't keep it going, which I understand, safety above aesthetic. But I do kind of wish they still could have kept it going, because I mean it was just like a really cool way to like kind of keep this movie alive, and it was like the best adaptation of this movie for sure.
Yeah.
Like they actually made it like look cool and scary. But yeah.
Although the magic mirror in that
Magic Mirror was a little uncanny.
very much so. The fact they made him a walk around character at one point.
Yeah, the fact that he was a walk around character.
Disney, they've thought of everything.
They have. For better or for worse.
Yes.
But yes, this movie was not worthy of such a good attraction. And it was gone from us too soon. So Black Cauldron, I give it F. It is bad.
Wow. Trauma does not make a movie terrible, but just bad quality overall, which just makes it bad for you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bad quality, and the fact that it was tampered with so heavily. And I hate the behind the scenes stuff with this movie, because it's like it very clearly had a vision, but then Katzenberg freaked the fuck out. And
have you seen
caused it to be
those
hacked
cells
up.
of the soldier being like melted away?
Yeah.
I could have done without that, and I'm glad they didn't put that in there.
I mean, yeah, I would have liked it because I like cool animation, but I mean, probably good that they left it out of the Disney movie.
Yeah, and that's too graphic. That is where I think they made a good call. Other things, maybe they should have.
Maybe they shouldn't have
considered
taken
more.
out like important plot elements.
Yes. But that one, I feel like that's more for like shock value.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good one there. Um, for me, this movie, honestly, this and The Rescuers, I think I just flipped my rankings of them. I put the Black Cauldron in the respect and appreciate tier. I might watch this again.
Disagree.
Because I like what this movie sets out to do, even if it fails. Which is to convey a dark Disney fantasy story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe it goes more on the side of, like, Lord of the Rings and stuff like that, which I'm not too familiar with.
I love Lord of the Rings. I just can't look past the quality of this.
Yeah.
That's the problem with me. I just can't look past the quality of it.
I mean, I don't... It's honestly making me feel strange because it's like I can see potential in it.
I mean, there's definitely potential.
But I don't know how salvageable it is.
Yeah. Like, there is potential for something really good in here, but I just don't think Disney would ever be able to reach that potential.
Probably not.
Because they're not willing to commit.
Well, it's like this movie was in production for like 14 years.
Yeah.
And also it was conceived around a time when like fantasy movies were far more popular.
Yes.
And then by the time it came out, the public had lost interest.
Yeah.
And moved on to other things. So timing obviously was not in their favor. But
it's not just timing.
No, it's not.
This movie failed on its own merits.
They lost to the Care Bears movie.
As they should have, because this was bad.
Okay, I don't think this is on the level of Care Bears. Come on.
Okay, Care Bears actually slaps. So, anyway.
God. At least these characters run at 24 frames per second.
That's true. 24 FPS, yeah.
Yeah. But the book in the Care Bears movie was significantly creepier. Oh my god, and they had that mosh pit in that circus tent. Anyway, yeah, I just... And Gurgi. Oh, Gurgi. Jar Jar Binks. He kind of looks like if Geppetto had sex with a monkey.
Look, annoying side characters are genuinely the bane of my existence. So it did not do this movie any favors to have an annoying side character.
Nope. And pungent.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my favorite thing about this movie might be the witches.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Well, aside from the fact that one of them was like really horny for a Disney movie.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, we've seen Three Caballeros, and this went on a whole other level.
I mean, I still think Three Caballeros is like the horniest.
I don't think there was any section where like Donald got caught in someone's tits.
Yeah, but it was definitely up there. It's just that like the reason I still think Caballeros is like still up there is because it's the whole movie. This was just a small section.
It does take up a greater chunk of the runtime than Black Cauldron's horniness. I'll give you that. But also the head witch, apparently her voice was so good that they had her play the queen for the Snow White ride.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. If you listen to the audio for the Disneyland version, it's cool. Her, and she has a really good voice. So.
Yeah.
But, yeah, otherwise, God, I wish they could have done more. And Eilonwy, she looks like a discount Briar Rose.
Yeah.
With personality to boot, except I think she gets to kick a bit more ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least she has a moment to be like, if it weren't for this girl, you would still be in the Horned King's dungeon, you know, stuff like that. So she like stands up for herself, but it's not enough.
Yeah. I just
So
there's just no like this movie just can't be lifted up for me. In its current state, it is a mess,
yes,
and I won't. I'm not gonna watch it again. Well, I might watch it again. It's not like Fox and the Hound, like where like I
yes,
definitely
yes.
won't watch it again. It's like I may watch it again.
But only on specific occasions.
Yeah, only on specific occasions, and I have to be mentally prepared for it.
Yes.
I have to know that I am going in to watch the Black Cauldron.
And I have to be on Xanax or something.
I mean, I definitely have to take my medication.
Yes. But you know, the big drug of the day is Xanax, so you know. But yeah, anyway, well, it would have been cocaine in the 80s, so
Oh yeah.
people would have had an even rougher time watching this movie back then.
Maybe it'd be funny to get high and watch it.
I don't know. I guess one thing I could have mentioned at the beginning also is that this was an era which was like residue from the 60s where people started taking drugs to watch Disney movies.
Yes.
And Alice in Wonderland got a massive boost in popularity.
It still has that reputation to this day.
Yes, it does. I remember I took a high school English course and I did a presentation on Alice, and the teacher afterwards just went on saying about how, like, you know, like Alice in Wonderland's a drug trip, Fantasia's a drug trip, Peter Pan is a drug trip.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you're missing the point.
Gotta love it.
Gotta love it, I guess. Because God forbid creative people can get creative without the use of substances.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how the hell do you think we're making these movies? Anyway, moving on. Great Mouse Detective.
Another iconic villain here.
Absolutely.
Ratigan Heike is the best part of this movie to me.
Yes.
And the fact that he has like a whole song dedicated to him
Yeah.
is kind of hilarious and campy as hell.
Mm-hmm. Vincent Price.
Yes, Vincent Price kills it in this movie. Okay. Actually, talking about the movie, I did like it, which is obviously a step up from the past two movies.
Significant praise.
Significant praise is that I did actually like this movie, and I would watch it again.
Yes.
And most of my praise does come down to Ratigan because he's just so funny.
Mm-hmm.
He's so funny to watch do these like glibly malicious things.
Yes. And he and Basil are such ex-boyfriends.
Oh, they're such ex-boyfriends.
Trouble with the chemistry set, old boy.
It's so good. So I think Great Mouse Detectives will go right next to Aristocats in A tier. I really enjoyed it. Very fun. The scene with like is it like a clock tower?
Yes, Big Ben.
Yeah, Big Ben, when they're climbing up Big Ben. That was fun. I liked that action set piece. I just like whenever, like, you know, big set pieces like that aren't used in like the usual way.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Very unconventional, yeah.
Yeah, because like they're tiny mice. So like they're climbing up the giant gears of this clock tower, and it's just really nice.
Yeah. Because who else could?
Yeah.
Not Tom Cruise.
Not Tom Cruise. He's a Scientologist. Anyway. But yeah, Great Mouse Detectives, I put it in A tier. I really liked it. I would watch it again. Better than Fox and the Hound. Thanks.
This one goes in the respect and appreciate tier above Black Cauldron.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do have good taste, I swear to God. But
Hey,
the
look,
reason
as long
why
as it's above Black Cauldron, then it's good.
yes, yeah. Well, I actually have quite a few movies under Black Cauldron, so I don't know.
Oof.
Like really, right now we're looking at 3 movies above it.
Ugh.
So, and it would be higher if I wasn't terrified by it.
Uh-huh.
Fidget is the stuff of my nightmares.
Yeah.
Terrifying. Absolutely. Like, I'm petrified. And it doesn't help that he's voiced by the same guy who did the Indian chief from Peter Pan.
Ooh.
But this is by default for that alone, this is a way better performance.
Yes.
Yes. I do
By
really like
default,
Basil.
it is a better performance.
Yes. I really like Basil.
Basil's just so sweet.
He's so sweet. He's so suave, dapper.
Such a dapper young man.
Yep.
And he and Radigan are obviously exes.
Exes, yes. Disney, the gay shit is right there. Take advantage of it.
Like, come on. Lovers to enemies is just such a good pipeline.
I know. But I don't think this movie is good enough to get a sequel.
No.
No. And it'll never happen, obviously. But
Never.
yeah. But for what it is, I think it's really sweet and good and scary.
Yes.
So yeah, respect and appreciate for me.
Love that.
Also, Queen Victoria Mouse.
Very good addition, in my opinion.
Very good. What's
God
the line
save
that he
the
says?
queen.
God save the queen. What's the line that Radigan says when he's made the robotic replica of her?
Oh,
and
shit.
It's like he's like something, and she's like, "Of course you do."
Oh, God.
I'm like, yeah.
I don't remember,
Good
but
stuff.
that's pretty funny.
Yeah. Something about being powerful and taxing all of the old people, the invalid, and the children.
Yeah.
God, he'd be terrible as a ruler. Anyway. But not too unfamiliar. Anyway, but yeah, respect and appreciate.
Yes. Last but not least, I don't think, Oliver and Company.
Yeah.
So this movie feels like Lady and the Tramp 2. Do you know what I mean?
I think I do, but I still don't agree.
It feels like a sequel to a movie I
Really?
never watched.
Really?
That
that is really high praise.
Is it high praise?
That is too high.
No,
for Oliver and Company.
No, I'm insulting it right now.
What? Are you saying that Lady and the Tramp is on the level of Oliver and Company?
I'm saying that, like, I didn't like Lady and the Tramp 2.
Oh, Lady and the Tramp 2.
Yes, this movie feels like
Okay,
Lady and the Tramp 2. That's what I said.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go on.
Yeah, like this movie feels like a direct-to-video sequel to a much better movie. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, okay.
That's what I'm trying to say. It feels like it just doesn't. It's bad. Everything feels really forgettable. I literally don't remember anybody's name.
Dodger.
Dodger?
Oliver.
Yeah, Oliver. and Company. That's what I remember.
You forgot the name of the protagonist, but his name is on the fucking title.
And yeah, this movie feels so forgettable, so bland. It feels like nothing happens. And I tuned out majority of it because I just couldn't. I
And
felt brain dead
that's
watching
so
it.
wild because there is an element of child trafficking in this movie, so that could be a cause
I
for
know.
alarm, and yet you're like, nothing happened.
And I'm like, nothing happened. I just brain turned off watching this movie, which is not a compliment.
Obviously.
So this movie goes in D tier. I don't think it's as bad as Black Cauldron, but it's real close. It's on the tipping point between D and F tier.
I would say Black Cauldron is more memorable than this movie.
Black Cauldron is definitely more memorable, but I don't think it's not a hack job like Black Cauldron was.
No, I guess not. And at least our boy Howard Ashman, he contributed one song to this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once Upon a Time in New York City. Yeah, we're in agreement about this one.
Yeah.
Like, I know I've watched this movie, and I did not watch it in preparation for this recording.
I did, because I hadn't seen this movie.
I
didn't know it
I swear
existed.
I have.
I didn't know it was a Disney movie.
That alone should put it in a bottom tier, probably. Like, wait,
Honestly,
this
yeah.
is a Disney movie?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Because, like, genuinely, I think I've, like, seen this cover before, and I thought it was, like, a ripoff of, like, Lady and the Tramp or something. Or, like, 101 Dalmatians or something. Like, I 100%, it does, like, it looks like it would be, like, one of those, like, Disney ripoff movies.
Which reminds me of a lovely anecdote that I should have shared for The Great Mouse Detective. When they rechanged the title of the movie from, what was it? I think it was Basil of Baker Street. They changed it to The Great Mouse Detective. And people were, staff members were so angry about it that they put out this memo citing alternate titles to Disney movies. So it was like, instead of Snow White, it was Seven Little Men Help a Girl.
Oh my god.
With Cinderella, it was The Girl with the See-Through Shoes.
Stop!
I think with Pinocchio, it was The Boy Who Became Real.
Stop! Oh my god.
Look it up, it's everywhere. This
That's
feels like
so
that kind of movie.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I remember Billy Joel was in it. I remember Bette Midler's in it. I remember Cheech Marin is in it. I remember the villain dies from a train car.
Uh-huh.
And his two dogs, his two Dobermans, get electrocuted.
Yep.
There's stuff about this movie that I remember, but I have not seen it in a long time.
It's like, now that you say it, I remember this happening, but like very vaguely.
Yeah.
Because again, my brain was turned off.
Oh, man.
And I watched this like 2 days ago. It should still be fresh in my memory, but it's not.
Yeah. Actually, I want to make sure I'm correct about something. Howard Ashman, I can't remember if he contributed the first song or Streets of Gold.
Oh.
It's one of those two, but I'm just wondering because I really like Streets of Gold.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to make sure it's him or not.
Yeah.
Hold on. This is going to mean nothing to our listeners, but...
Well, it means something to us.
It does. And everyone else is on our level about this movie, but they're like, who cares?
And it's like, fuck you.
Okay.
Maybe
okay,
that's
it
why
was-
no one listens, is because I say fuck you to the audience.
No, I've kept in most of the times where you say it to me.
Okay.
So- But yes, he did write Once Upon a Time in New York City.
Okay.
So he wrote the song that I blocked out because of all the sad kittens.
Nice.
But Why Should I Worry? That's a banger. Yeah, I think 2 songs are the only ones I liked. But it's not a very music-heavy movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. I mean, really, just nothing really stuck out to me.
No. In fact, what I think about more is the depiction of New York City in this movie and how, like, Disney basically orchestrated a massive cleanup of the city in, like, the 90s or something.
Uh-huh.
Because it was just a fucking miserable place to be.
Yeah.
Like, it was the kind of place where you would find, like, probably boxes of kittens all over Times Square, or people tripping out on heroin, or
Yeah.
like children being abducted and stuff like that. Like, it was the
Wild.
pits. It was the pits.
Yes.
I wonder if this movie inspired Rudy Giuliani to, like, clean things up.
Oliver and Company inspires Rudy Giuliani to clean up New York City. So people will stop making bad movies about New York City.
Well, bad movies also stop drug usage and all those other crimes. Stop
Yeah.
crime. You know, we still have to say no to drugs. It's 1988.
Obviously.
Thanks, Nancy Reagan.
Thanks, Nancy, for criminalizing drug use instead of treating it like a mental illness and that people don't need help.
Yeah. Indeed.
Thanks for treating drug use like a worse offense than murder.
Or on the level of gay marriage.
Or on the level of gay marriage.
Oh no, I'm
think-
sorry. I got her confused with Anita Bryant. I'm sorry.
But I mean, not that far off.
Not that far off. Only a decade removed. Oh, also, how could I forget the freaking AIDS epidemic?
Oh, of course. Not the fact that healthcare was so hard to afford for people in low-income areas, but blame the gays.
Blame the gays, blame the blacks.
Ugh. So stupid.
Indeed. So this movie makes me think about those issues instead of what's going on screen.
Yeah. Makes me think of all the better movies that talk about these topics.
My recommendation when talking about Oliver and Company, just watch Milk.
Just watch Milk.
Just watch the documentary about Harvey Milk.
Instead of watching Oliver and Company, watch Law and Order. Watch Law and Order instead of Oliver and Company.
Binge all of Billy Joel's albums. Watch Hocus Pocus.
Watch Hocus Pocus. Read a book. Go touch grass. Right now, I'm reading The Scum Villain Self-Saving System by MXTX. I recommend this book. It's very gay. I would read that over Oliver and Company.
I feel like we may have already set a low bar for this podcast, but I'm about to set it even lower. You know what? Gay porn might be more entertaining than Oliver and Company.
That's what this book is. This book is gay porn. I wish I was kidding. It's literally more entertaining than Oliver and Company. And half of it is just one guy agonizing over how stupid he is.
Perfect ain't easy, am I right? Oh my god.
Okay. Everything is better than Oliver and Company.
Everything-
Let's move on.
Okay. Well, I guess that involves going from bottom to top.
Yes. F tier, Black Cauldron. D tier,
Fair.
Oliver and Company. Actually, no. It's going behind Black Cauldron now. I hate Oliver and Company. D tier is empty. F tier is Black Cauldron and Oliver and Company. C tier, Fox and the Hound and the Rescuers. B tier, the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. A tier, the Aristocats and the Great Mouse Detective. Then S tier, Robin Hood.
It's practically comprehensive. And for me, I have nothing in the Chicken Little category, surprisingly.
Surprisingly.
In Dud, I have the Aristocats and the Fox and the Hound.
I was more generous with Fox and the Hound. I was more
Yes.
generous.
Yes, you were. In It, we have Oliver and Company and the Rescuers. In Respect and Appreciate, we have Black Cauldron and the Great Mouse Detective. And in the Mashiz tier, we have Robin Hood and the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
Nice.
The thing that keeps us apart is cats.
Cats. It's always cats.
It always comes back to cats. Memories all alone in the moonlight.
Look, I love cats.
I'm really tempted, whenever I do inevitably reach the Aristocats for the podcast, I'm really tempted to make the cats look like the cats from the 2019 movie.
The 2019 movie sucks.
It does, without question. Without question.
I'm a fan of the musical,
Yes.
not a fan of the movie. I need to make that clear.
Yes. I'm
The
in the same boat with
movie
you.
was bad.
Very, very bad.
I'm a fan of like the 1990s stage productions where Rum Tum Tugger was hot.
Oh, Tum Tum Tugger. Oh my god. And then he was played by Jason Derulo.
Disgusting choice. How dare they? They should have chosen like someone who fucks for Rum Tum Tugger. And they didn't. They chose Jason Derulo.
I mean, there was that one time when his profile picture got flagged because you could see the eggplant.
I do not care. Jason Derulo was not the right choice for Rum Tum Tugger. They failed. They fundamentally failed.
Okay, fine. As a member of Cats 2019, they failed.
They failed.
But as someone who is well endowed, maybe I don't know. But I'm kind of tempted to make Duchess look like Taylor Swift in that movie.
Don't do that to my girl Duchess.
I won't do it out of respect to Ava Gabor. That woman was excellent. She was beauty. She was grace. I will not compare her to Taylor Swift.
Do not do that.
Okay.
I mean, we love Taylor Swift, but don't do that.
I'm not going to give any opinions, but I'm not a Swiftie. So
I mean, I'm not a Swiftie either, but I do not hate her.
okay. I guess I don't hate her either. It's just sometimes like the fact that she's had so many home runs in her career, I'm just like, something ain't right. Like she's had her bad spots, but they've been like personal ones, not creative ones. So I'm like, what's going on, Taylor? And don't even get me started on me. The fact that Brendan Urie recorded that song with 105-degree fever.
We already know my thoughts on Brendan Urie, so I'm not going to say anything.
I've shared my opinions on several episodes of this podcast.
I have also shared my opinions on several
I know,
episodes.
but I mean, like, even before you showed up,
Yes.
I was going off. I'm happy that he's a father. I will say that for now. Anyway, so I guess that brings us to our final question. How do you think the films of the Bronze Age influence the way the Walt Disney Studios produces films to this day?
I don't think they learned anything from this period, or if they did learn anything, then they took that lesson for a little while and then promptly forgot it. Because, like we said earlier, this this era is very similar to the current recession. In the fact that they're not trying anything new. They're not doing anything cool. Or if they do try something new and try to do something cool, they fuck it up. They don't let it be cool. They don't let it be new. Because
Well,
they're
actually,
Disney.
here's a good point of comparison. Do you think that Winnie the Pooh or Robin Hood are on the level of Encanto? They might be your favorites. Well, maybe not Winnie the Pooh, but Robin Hood is a favorite.
Yes.
But do you think it stands up shoulder to shoulder with Encanto?
I don't think it does.
Okay.
In quality-wise,
Yes.
I don't think
Well,
so.
obviously, like xerography versus really polished computer animation.
Yeah.
Like that's really interesting though, because with xerography you see more of the animator's involvement.
But I mean,
with
I
computer,
like the
you know.
art style of Robin Hood more. I'm not a huge fan of like the computer animation stuff. However, I have to admit that it is more polished and it is more like it's innovative.
Mm-hmm.
So I can give him that. But I do prefer like the old like hand drawn animation.
Mm-hmm. And it kind of leads me to speculate that, you know, a lot of Disney's more problematic moments have occurred with hand-drawn animation. And so I just have a tiny bit of speculation that perhaps with CGI animation, because it's a newer art form, that they are more conscious of being socially correct
Yeah.
with that medium, and because of hand-drawn animation being considered old-fashioned, perhaps the racial stereotyping, the queerphobia,
Yeah.
it gets associated with that older medium.
It would be interesting if that's the case. It would add more context to their like very hard stance on not doing hand drawn animation anymore. But yeah.
I will say I haven't found enough evidence to support that, but I don't feel like that's a claim to ignore.
Yeah. It would definitely make sense.
Yeah, because I think Princess and the Frog is the best we got, and even then, I don't think they nailed it all the way.
Yeah.
Like, they could have put Tiana on the level of, like, a Cinderella or a Belle, but...
Yeah.
You know.
It's just, yeah. It's a claim, and it
Yeah.
has merit.
Yeah. Otherwise, I think... I don't feel as empty with this era as I do with the recession, so that's good.
Yeah.
I think this is the perfect pair to pit against each other because... And actually, the thing that all four of these eras have in common, this, the recession, the package film era, and the post-Renaissance, is that they're all produced within times of like international conflict, stress. You know, package films were made during World War II,
Yeah.
Bronze Age, the Vietnam War,
Mm-hmm.
post-Renaissance, the Iraq War, and the recession. I think it has the weakest excuse because it's just a domestic culture war.
Yeah.
Like, it's us against us. So
For real.
And so, like, I don't want to make this show too political, but I mean, like,
Fuck the government. Kill John Lennon.
oh my god. You should have just taken Divine's quote from Pink Flamingos. Kill everyone now. Condone first-degree murder. Advocate cannibalism. Eat shit.
What an icon.
I will never watch that movie, but I love that moment.
No, yeah, that line is just so good.
So good.
It's so quotable. It's amazing.
Oh, blood does more than excite me, Mr. whatever his last name is. It makes me...
Art. It is truly a wordsmith.
You're a real pain, Tina. A pain in my big fat asshole.
But yeah.
Fuck you. You're not my mom. You're not my dad. This is the worst Christmas present you can ever give me. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. And she like tackles her with a Christmas tree. Oh my god.
But yeah, don't want to make this show too political, but anyway, I think the United States should be socialist.
And I
Capitalism
think
is the root of all evil.
when you wish upon a star, you end up with capitalism.
I think laissez-faire capitalism will destroy us. It will take our country to the grave.
So is compassionate capitalism a myth?
Capitalism does not allow for compassion. Capitalism
Well, there's
only allows
literally
for
like
innovation.
a theory that people are pushing around where it's like they give like less money to corporations and divide it more evenly amongst like the common folk.
Fun fact, that's a socialist policy. Capitalism does not allow for compassion. Capitalism only allows for innovation.
If
So
nothing
fuck
else.
capitalism. It's like that one John Mulaney bit where it's like, fuck the police. Fuck the police. But it's me going, fuck capitalism. There you go.
Well, hopefully we don't offend people too much.
Look, if you're coming to me looking for good capitalism takes, you're in the wrong place, sweetie. Why are you on a Disney podcast looking for good capitalism takes?
You know, at some point we're going to talk about Fantasia and how art should be more accessible to the masses and things like that. And I guess capitalism is like a higher tier than that. So.
But that's just a theory, an economics theory. Thanks for watching.
All right, I guess I can't top that. So with that concludes this chapter on Disney Reel to Reel. At least we're doing better than we were in 1985.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Which means that we have only 3 more eras to get through.
Woo!
And they're all really, really good.
Woo!
So for the first time in our ranking series, I'm going to announce what our next one will be because I've left it up in the air pretty much every time. It's been a grab bag. Next time, I think we'll cover the Silver Age.
Wee!
Yeah.
Yippee!
And I guess my hot take for that, for anyone interested, is that with the exception of Peter Pan, I think most of those movies are accidentally liberal.
Accidentally liberal is my favorite genre of movie.
All right, then we're going to have a hell of a time. Thanks, Walt.
Thanks, Walt.
Any final thoughts on just anything, capitalism or otherwise?
Coming soon, Disney Reel to Reel Tumblr page.
Yes.
It will be up shortly. I'm literally gonna work on it after this episode.
Yes. I already have the art ready to go.
So
it's gonna be beautiful.
It's a work in progress, but it will be coming.
Yes.
It'll be great.
Indeed. Until then, you can reach out to us at disneyreeltoreel@gmail.com or on Instagram at disreeltoreelpodcast.
Yep.
Oh. So, yeah. Until next time, have a magical day, everybody!
Bye!
So what about it's a friend that I'm partnership. All we know what to do is newspaper to bottom of the board. And the we down, you don't leave it in the bottom. And you're done, big shot that'll go. So what about it's a friend that I'm gonna hate to break the rhythm. It's a meeting with a bot, it's newspaper. Journey should we bring it to my farm, realizing in the bottom. And you're done, big shot that'll go. So what about be there, don't be shy, don't kid. And you're don't be shy, you wait. Be there, don't be shy, don't kid. And you're don't be shy, that'll go. So what about